Okay, so here's the fight between me and Maximus here, the Tacview for it. Just going to go ahead and fast forward. Look at his Mach speed, Mach 1.2, I'm Mach 0.9. Okay, so actually what I did was cut throttle for a bit here to reduce my speed at the merge. And I decide to turn and stay horizontal. He decides to nose down. Now because of his speed and the increase of his speed as he noses down, he's going to have a very large turn. Okay, my turn's going to be much tighter because of my reduced speed. And it's going to allow me a situation to sit directly on his 6 o'clock here. Okay, and I'm just going to correct my direction, and there you go, I'm sitting on his 6 o'clock. Now watch this right here. He should have continued to go vertical, okay? And the reason for that is because you can see I'm having trouble getting my nose up. And the way he could have told that was when he looks back at from his plane, from his cockpit, and he looks at my plane and he can see my wings and my tail and the entire upper part of my aircraft, he knows that this airplane, this guy behind me right now, is not getting a good fire solution. Okay, his nose is pointing down here. That's pretty common sense, but you'd be surprised how many people ignore that piece of information in the heat of battle, okay, which he clearly just did. So he starts to nose down and come down, and what he's doing is actually moving his plane into the exact part that my nose is pointing at, right? And this may be due to him not having visual on me and trying to get visual, but if he did have visual, then this was a pretty big mistake. And that's another reason why you always want to try to maintain visual, okay? So he's going to nose down, and having nose down like that, like I said, is going to line him up perfectly with me. See that? Now I can just correct, and I'm going to stay on a 6, just like that. Alright, so now I'm basically just comfortably on his 6 o'clock, and I'm just looking for a kill shot. You can see I'm not following his exact trajectory down. I'm kind of leading a little bit. I'm achieving this lead by putting the target, the vector indicator of the plane a little bit in front of him, and it's creating this lead effect. All right, so I'm trying to close the distance so I can get that guns kill. Now, as he looks back from his plane, I'm going to switch it to his plane. As he looks out of his cockpit and he sees my plane and the fact that my plane, he can't see the top of it anymore, he can't see the top of my wings, the back of my tail and all that stuff. He's getting a front profile view of the aircraft. This should be a pretty good indicator for him that this guy is setting up a pretty decent fire solution, and he should be thinking of other options. Whatever he's doing right now, which is this turn, is not adequate. Okay, it's about to get him killed, and he can tell because he can see the front profile of my plane. Alright, once again, that's pretty common sense, but in the heat of battle, you know, you don't pay attention to these little things. Like right here. See, that's a full frontal profile of the plane. He should be like jinking, you know, diving, doing something. You don't just continue doing what you're doing if you see the front profile of a plane. Alright, so I'm able to follow his turn completely. It's just a matter of lining up the reticles. I'm being very careful as we get close to the ground. I'm being very careful with my throttle, right? I don't want to hit the ground. Being very careful with my dive angles. Alright, and I'm just maintaining my position on a 6 o'clock by continuing to lead him as well. You see that? You see how those lines are not completely on him? Right, I'm leading him as we come down. I'm continuing to lead, right? And I'm trying to line up that shot, which I get very close to the ground, and I don't think I could have waited any longer because I got to start pulling up, right? So he's going to hit the ground here, and I'm going to be able to pull up, and that's going to be the kill. Alright, sweet. Alright, so that's the Tacview. Let's go watch the second round.
Minimum speed. Minimum speed. Minimum speed. Minimum speed. Fuel 1500. pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up. Fuel 800. Bingo fuel. Radar failure. EOS failure. ACS failure. Radar failure. EOS failure. ACS failure.
Alright, here we go, another merge. I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward it. Alright, this time I go vertical. Gotta be real careful with it though, you gotta watch your airspeeds here, because if you stall out, you're in big trouble. Alright, so I'm gonna go vertical. Being vertical lets me get an eye on him really nicely. And I managed to turn. And you can see that that turn radius gets real tight at the top because you start to lose your speed in the climb, right? So it leaves you pretty maneuverable to go after him. So he has decided to go horizontal this time. And I've got him, and I'm once again, I was low speed. He's at Mach 0.7. So again, he's at a disadvantage in terms of speed. You don't want to be going too fast in a fight like this. So once again, you can see I'm having a little bit of trouble getting on his tail this time though. Okay, I'm having trouble pulling my nose up, and he's managed to bleed off a little speed in that little turn he did there. So we're about the same speed, and it looks like we're going to engage in a downward spiral at this point. I got eyes on him, he's got eyes on me. You can see my altitude is a little bit lower than his though, which means as this spiral continues to go towards the ground, it's going to be pretty dangerous for me. I'm going to be the first one to hit the ground. So I got to start thinking of options here, right? How am I going to finish this fight as soon as possible? Or I got to figure out a way to disengage from the spiral, or I got to find a way to put my altitude higher than his so he's the first one who has to disengage. Okay, but these are all problems I'm thinking of on the way down. You can see I'm still trying to win this turning fight here, and I'm not really able to. It's going to be a real tight turn to the ground. Just just gonna go ahead and fast forward. Oh, here we go. Look at that. So look at that. He's building his speed. He's trying to exit the spiral. He's trying to exit the downward spiral here, which is not a great idea. And he's got me on his tail, just like that. All right, so that was a big mistake right there. That actually should be a fatal mistake. I'm having trouble putting the reticle on him and killing him here. And so you can tell he realizes his mistake here, and he's in full afterburner, and he's trying to put space in between me and him to not give me a fire solution. That's his strategy at this point, apparently. And he's just going to do turns, and he's going to climb. You can see him climbing, right? Look at that. He's pulled, and he's using his speed and momentum to climb. He wants to get back up there, and I'm going to follow him. I'm not entirely sure why he's climbing, but it's possible that he's trying to go up to the contrail, 30,000 feet to get the contrails, and he's hoping that I will follow him and show contrails, because I think he's having trouble maintaining a visual on me. So I think he's setting a trap. I could be totally wrong. I have no idea why he's climbing in this situation. I thought he would try to force the fight to the ground. So he actually solved my problem for me, the problem of having to get out of the downward spiral before he does. He solved that problem for me really nicely, and also exposed the 6 o'clock to me. Alright, and we're just going to continue. He's just going to turn around like this for a few loops. We're just going to continue these turns. And you can tell he's got real nice speed here at Mach 1.4. I'm burning all kinds of fuel trying to stay on his 6 o'clock here with his speed. I don't want to leave too much distance between us, because as soon as I do that, he gets an opportunity to turn around. And I don't want that. I want to stay on his 6 o'clock. And you can see I'm flying those leads still, right? You can see his turn and my turns are inside of his turn, which means I'm flying a lead on him, trying to decrease that speed to get a kill shot. As we come around here on this turn, you can see I'm starting to get real close to a nice kill shot. And once again, he's looking at the profile of my plane. Okay, as he looks at the profile of my plane, he's seeing a front profile, which should be telling him, very common sense, like I said, it should be telling him that this is a bad idea. What you're doing right now, you're presenting fire solutions, because that plane is able to put his nose on you. And sure enough, you can see some rounds come off there. Alright, he noses up and continues to put some speed between us. I reduced throttle back there to get those shots off, so I gotta build up that little bit of distance that just got put between us here. I'm gonna do that by once again flying lead, as you can see here. I'm back on his 6, I've closed that distance, and I'm getting shots off again. Alright, and I'm just trying to line it up now. Oh, look at that. Tacview says he's dead. Tacview says he's dead. Now, okay, so here's what happened here. I hit him, and he started smoking, and I was talking to him in the chat, and he was saying that he started diving towards the ground here. If you remember the footage, he's diving towards the ground, and it makes me think that he's dead, right? He's lost control of the aircraft, and it's plummeting towards the ground. Turns out that was something he did on purpose. And if you remember, he actually manages to come around and kill me at the end, right? He's because I end up believing it for a second. I disengage. By the time I re-engage, it's a few seconds before I figure out what he's doing, and by then he's managed to put himself on my 6 o'clock. Like, he's managed to reinitiate the turning fight, which he ends up winning, and he ends up killing me. But according to Tacview, he's dead. Alright, so I'm gonna let you guys be the judge of this. Who won here? And yeah, he ends up hitting me and killing me. So you can see there's like a ghost shooting rounds at me. Alright, so you guys be the judge of this round. Who won? Did I win because Tacview says he's dead, or did he win because he kept fighting, even though I guess, you know, his plane was completely destroyed according to Tacview, but he kept fighting. The plane was responsive, so he kept fighting. Do you credit him with that, or do you credit me with the win because of Tacview? Tell me in the comment below. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.